Hi. Okay,
Hello.
like figuring out whether or not Howard is in Florida or New York,
still in
I am
Florida.
now you can tell that I am no longer down in Florida, and
You don't have three
You're in
guitars back
Iceland.
there.
I don't have three guitars, but I do
Live
have
from
an
Iceland.
awesome Crackhead Jesus is Coming sticker and various and sundry shit that I have stolen off of walls in the city. I have one of these. Xavier has one of these as well that I got for him, and this is, you have yours, right, Xavier?
I sure do.
Yeah, this is my walnut monster. My walnut
I'll
monster.
get a walnut monster, honey. Monique decided when Larry King passed away, she's gonna wear his Dodgers hat. This is from Larry King, by the way.
Yeah,
And
so
Alyssa
Can I
Milano.
tell you about
Sandy Koufax.
Sandy
Sandy Koufax.
this is a hat I bought the
No, I'm
last
having
time I was
dinner
in
with
LA.
Al Pacino.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Patterson, New Jersey. You're on the air.
Do you
This is
see my
Larry-
bowling alley behind me? Exactly.
Yeah.
So, okay. Greetings,
you're-
everyone. Welcome to Monday, May 16th of 2022. And we are doing a live podcast tonight about a show that is barely alive. That's basically what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll run with that.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Thank you. Like and subscribe.
So,
What
Wait,
what
job,
Larry
everybody.
King does in that situation is he goes, by far one of the best Jewish left-handed pitchers, and it has to be Sandy Koufax.
that
Really,
that
Larry?
Vince Scully
How many other
called
ones are
his
there?
perfect game.
One of the best, not the best. Larry won't put himself out there too
So-
much. He's one of the best.
Okay. What you got, Dennis?
so wait, you didn't pull the opening in the show, right? Or did you? Oh, you did. Okay, all right.
You saw my
Dennis, you're
clips.
getting a lot of compliments. You and Monique finding that little pearl in the
Jesus.
oyster of the. You know, what I'm talking about the Bruce Springsteen reveal.
Yes, the
Getting
Bruce
a lot of
Springsteen where they
compliments.
kind
Getting
of
a lot of very very
somebody
great
tipped me
dog
off in
listening.
the. I think it was K-Tate tipped me off in the thread. I went, whoa, I missed something because I was zoning out, and then went back and went, oh my dear God, yeah, they.
Yeah,
So-
but
Like
then when we were
Kate.
both like, okay, what did we miss on this and why is this
Yeah.
important was the key to this whole thing. So
Exactly. And that's the
greetings.
biggest part.
Okay, everybody's picking on me for my Dodgers hat, but the reality is
I
it's
think
just an LA hat. That's all it is. It's just
No, it's a Dodgers hat.
I bought it last time I was in LA and it's been a while since I've been there. So
My
it's just-
favorite
What about an
Major League
Angels
Base-
hat?
My favorite major. I'm actually an Angels fan, Dennis.
they don't
Yeah,
sell
it's good.
those at
I
LAX.
swear to God.
Sorry.
They're on
They don't
fire.
sell Angels hat at LA.
My
Yeah.
my
kidding.
favorite Major League Baseball hat of all time is the defunct Montreal Expos hat.
Oh, see, I used to love the Houston Astros hat. I used to love the
I like
colors
that
when I was
too.
a little girl.
Yep.
And I made my daddy buy me a Houston Astros shirt, even though, you know, I have relations with the
Yes,
Yankees.
Torrey. Joe
Yes,
Torre.
which
Yes,
which
that-
goes full circle
wait.
because I saw him with this whole thing with this guy from Sirius XM who just went
Steve
to
Torrey.
Buckworld.
So,
Steve
actually, you know
Torrey.
what's funny is that my grandfather knew Joe Torre too.
Oh, Joe Torre is my cousin. Was.
I didn't realize
Well,
that, but
is-
yeah, I forgot you told me that. But my grandfather knew Joe Torre.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the Torres were, Torres are part of my familia, and Steve Torre is a broadcaster or something on Sirius.
Mad Dog Radio. No, he's got a big role on that. Like the
What's-
second in command. At Mad
That's
Dog
really weird
Radio.
because I know Tori
Damn.
Spelling.
You
Save
know, it's weird. I
implants,
never
back to
reached
you.
out to him. I'm sure somebody will tell him now, but yeah. Yeah, his dad and my dad were like really, really close cousins, and I don't really know Steve that well at all. I just know that he was in broadcasting, you know, since I was working because we're
Oh,
around the
sorry,
same age.
Montreal. All the Canucks in
So,
there.
yeah.
I'm pissed off. I brought up the Expos. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I didn't move them to Washington. Had nothing to
Yeah.
do with it. Blame Tim Raines.
So we were always, of course, lifelong Mets fans, and that never really went over well with the family. I am now in the beautiful state of Pennsylvania, and
Pennsyltucky.
and my
Pennsylvania.
new puppy, who hopefully you'll meet tonight,
Aw.
is loving it. I should actually show him to you now because he's so nice and quiet, and then later it's going to be too much. It'll be a shit show. Hold on, I'm going to go get him. Give me a
You
second.
guys remember that Artie joke that he and David Spade told each other? Remember that song "Missing You" or something like that? He goes,
Mhm.
"And I miss you, yeah, like the Expos miss Tim Raines."
Wow. That's a deep cut right there, bro.
Damn, that's
nationally, he's the Vince Coleman
Jim
before Vince
Raines,
Coleman. Expo
jeez.
fans are like.
You have any Joe Carter references?
Yeah. If you're gonna go to Expos, you have to talk Joe Carter.
Andre Thornton.
Jesus. How's Kurt Bavacqua doing these days?
Oh my Kurt Bavacqua over here.
Well, when they got rid of Pedro, that was that.
Oh, here we go. It's
Pedro
Poppy.
Martinez.
It's Poppy. Oh, look at this gorgeous beast.
Yeah, this is gonna go well.
This is gonna be like the best bestiality porno you'll ever see.
Look.
Yeah.
Look at the camera.
Look at how
He's so
big his
calm.
skull is. He's a big boy.
Oh,
He's like, let's make out in front of everybody. Let's make them jealous of our love.
make him jealous for all love.
If this was North Shore Animal League, I would have been goners by now.
Did Howard bring up the buffalo shooting today, guys?
No,
What was that?
nothing.
Nothing. Really, zero.
No, none.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Wow.
Zero. So, this was probably on Thursday. Thursdays, I guess.
He's gonna wait till what? He's gonna wait.
No, I
till
think the show. Actually, I think the show was done last week. I don't.
Dennis,
think this
I'm
show
starting
was
to think
live.
that more and more now.
You know what? I think Dennis,
There's no
I think
proof
you're
it
right,
was
bro.
today. There was no proof that it was today. There was zero proof.
I heard a group.
Okay, well, that was exhausting.
Yeah, I looked at. So John brought up the great point about you didn't talk about the Buffalo shooting.
We brought it up in the Deppening.
Right.
Oh,
but
he didn't.
He didn't bring up any.
That's
But he also brought up
huge.
nothing topical. He brought up nothing topical from the weekend.
So he
His
wasn't
latest
live.
clip was from Wednesday night.
Oh my
Now
God.
she's leaving. So that there's something this whole week may be mailed in. Literally,
Dude,
this
I
whole
wouldn't
week
doubt it at
may
all.
be mailed in. Because Styles, you can interview anytime.
More and more.
Was there anything
opinions get-
topical at all?
Nothing.
on the show?
Yeah,
Zero.
we were just
Nothing.
talking about the Gary Templeton Ozzie Smith trade.
Wow.
This is
No, but
Padre talk.
honestly, there was nothing. The most recent thing he talked about was that on Jeopardy, that he was an answer to him and Ronnie were in a question. But that was from Wednesday night
was
of
it
last
2 weeks
week.
ago? Right.
Good catch,
Or
man.
maybe even 2 weeks ago. I don't even
Hadn't
know
even
when it
dawned-
happened.
It wouldn't even dawn on me that he had the audacity to take this week off after, not talking about having the next 2 weeks off.
Well, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Silly
You
me.
know?
Silly me.
Okay, wait. So just so you know, Ryder is a
Melvin.
silver lab, and he's in the chocolate family. Yes, but he's a silver lab.
He's silver.
He's
That's
4.5 months old. He's an absolute fucking beast,
And if he
and
was
he's probably going to be double the size of Reacher.
and if he was in Australia, he would be silver chair.
So, I don't even get that, but okay, just gonna let it go.
That's a 1997
heavy
deep
metal.
cut.
That's a Bon Jovi
Wow,
reference,
that is a deep cut.
Hey, I got references
Bon
for
Jovi's
days.
favorite band.
Guess who's not
Deep
sick anymore,
dive on Planet
bitches?
X.
Yeah, there
You
was
should have
nothing
killed
bigger.
me when you had the chance.
There was nothing bigger, but you know what it is? He needs his talking points in order to get his publicity. So he's not going to talk about it until he has a point that's just right for other
Yes.
people to repeat.
He'll ignore it. There's no way.
Sterilized,
he'll
and
ignore
how
it.
digestible is this with my
So-
celebrity friends? Like even the Depp thing, and I've said this a million times on the Depp, is he really needs Kimmel is a Disney guy, right? Depp gets fired from
100%.
Disney. He has
Yes.
to take the Disney company line. That's why he's acting all. He's nothing to do with Amber Heard. Absolutely nothing. There's nothing there, and you get the worst, most sterilized opinions. And it's 2.5 weeks later. It's all about Kimmel's affiliation with Disney. The society is going to take that
Yeah,
control.
but Disney doesn't really have anything to do with the Buffalo shooting. Like these are two totally.
No,
separate...
I know. I'm
No,
just saying.
but
But
how do
it's
we
in
get
line
there?
with what you're talking about, with how
But-
he has to get sterilized opinions and figure out which way to go.
Yeah.
For his agenda, which is nothing
Yes,
to
he
do with
needs
being
to.
edgy.
He needs his
or-
talking points.
Yes.
100% Dennis is right. Regardless of where he was going to go with, he would have mentioned it on some level. 100%. There's just
It
no
takes
fucking way.
Effort to avoid that.
Every show that aired today, TV, radio, podcast, even us, we just mentioned it. It's just such a topical thing to talk about.
Is that what a
And
wizard
it's-
hides?
But you're also dragging more attention to yourself by not talking about it, because everybody's going to be like going, what planet is this?
I should make it green.
No, but the thing is, essentially, yeah, John. But there's like 5 people listening to his show, and we represent like 4 of them. So it's like, it's like it's hard for fucking someone to bitch about something that they're not listening to.
It's such an easy opinion to take too, so you don't even have to really. There's no heavy lifting at all.
Okay,
Anyway,
should we start the show?
This show is Memorex.
Yeah,
so
let's
go for
please
it.
start the show.
Okay, so Bethy Smollett says, yo, almost every single show starts out talking about how this was the worst show ever, and there was nothing interesting about it. Today was the worst show ever, and there was nothing interesting about it. I agree, 1,000%.
Much like Saturday Night Live, Bethy, there's no bottom. There is no bottom.
There is no bottom.
He can only get worse. Each time he finds a new way to get lower.
Well, tomorrow should be much worse. Tomorrow's cleaning up the computer. So
Did he say that? Did he actually use that phrase, Dennis?
Yes, he did. The bit's so bad that they couldn't even get on the air during normal production. So now
Which is really bad.
I mean, so this is like stuff that can't make public access radio.
You
But
know
he's
what's
going to play them
amazing,
tomorrow.
Dennis? We go over the Pelican Brief all the time, and we bring it up. Can't bring it up enough. Can't bring enough more attention back to it or whatever. Remember the guest protocol during that? What it is now as opposed to what did he say, guys? Was it 6 guests a week they had planned back then?
Yes,
And now
yeah.
you're lucky if you get 2 in a month? What is that?
Right, we have Harry Styles on Wednesday, which is why we have to do
Ooh.
cleaning
And he
up
gives
the computer
himself
tomorrow.
Casual Monday. He gives himself
Hello! Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Perhaps Howard
Cindy.
can give us the number of his psychiatrist. Do you think he'll prescribe an antipsychotic to his dog?
Dog just eats edibles. So
My dog?
I'll write down.
He's 4.5 months old. He's
Oh, so Super Trooper wants to know what tomorrow's show's about. Nothing. That's what tomorrow's show's about.
Same as
Absolutely,
today,
utterly
but a day
nothing.
later.
But
So it
that's
could be
cleaning out the
pre-taped again,
computer.
Dennis, right?
What?
Potentially could be very pre-taped.
Would
you say that?
Oh,
What's stopping
nothing
him?
live. Nothing
Right,
live tomorrow.
right.
Nothing. Because it's
we could
cleaning out
literally
the computer.
record one show and play it after every one of his shows, and it would be relevant 99%. Like literally, we could just do one critique on one show and just
Yeah,
keep playing
it
it, and it would
permeates
be
the whole week. Yeah, exactly.
exactly 100%. It
Just
would be the same.
Sub in a guest critique maybe later on. If he has one guest, you're lucky if that motherfucker has one
Thank you.
guest in a week.
That's saying a lot. We've already discussed that. We know how many
he's off-
guests he's
he's
had
off
thus
next week.
far this year.
It's 13.
And you're just going to add one more to it before he goes on vacation for 2 weeks. So he'll probably wind up with like 15 or 16 before he goes on
You
vacation
know
for
what's
the
so
year.
funny is that, and it's just so, it's actually kind of funny. He's going to be halfway through his work year. This Wednesday, he'll be
Yeah.
at 46 shows.
That's insane.
14
He'll
guests.
be at 46 shows.
And 14
That's
guests the whole
insane.
year.
And he's
Yes,
still
CD.
fuck you, pay me.
Brent said this on our show, said that the writers and staff still keep writing and recording great segments, but Howard isn't
Bullshit.
playing
I
them.
call bullshit at
Brent
this point.
says everyone is still working, putting out content that isn't heard. I'm sure that's what they do, though. I mean, God knows they probably sit around.
You know what? Okay, listen. I used to totally buy
circle
into that.
jerking about this
There's
shit.
no way he's paying people for shit he's not using.
He's not paying them. Sirius is.
Well,
They're
it's
not
still
pu-
coming out of a budget.
It also
They-
looks like
They- no,
he's trying to
the
make it look
production
like a
company-
big
well,
operation.
Okay,
too.
Sirius cuts his production company a check. That
Yep.
check gets doled out however he wants to, whether
True.
he's paying them a penny or $500 a day. So
True.
I find it hard to believe that this fucking miser would have such
Well,
numbers in staff and essentially never use them.
oh no, but it can be this way. It could be that they are they're getting paid per piece, so they're not really full-time employees.
We're like
so,
vacuum
yeah,
salesmen.
exactly.
Hi, I'm from Walla Walla,
Exactly.
Washington. We like to buy
So he
this.
says he has 70 of
Dices,
them.
dices.
But only like 10 are working at a time. So
And
I mean,
don't
fair
discount
enough.
the fact he's a goldfish brain.
I just
He's
there's
a
no-
thunderhead.
This is
He thinks he wants
cute.
something 1 minute and then bails on it, and he loses interest in the
How
thing.
long has it been now? How many months have we talked about the same exact show?
Oh, and we're going to talk about the
I
same
find
exact
it
show
hard to
tonight,
believe
too.
it.
Groundhog
Let's-
Day.
let's start talking about Groundhog Day today.
This-
Oh my
It's
God,
totally-
it really is
I mean, hey,
Groundhog
listen,
Day, you guys.
It's all good, but I'm just saying is
It's not all
from
good.
From his
No, it's all
I'm talking
bad.
about from his bottom line, as far as him having to cut a check to someone who's shit he's not using, 100% he's cutting staff. There's no
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
way. There's no way that cheap bastard would just have numbers.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I think that he feels relevant by having 70 employees. Like I think that
Yes,
this is
I
power
was
play.
going to say that.
That's his
I
that's
said
his
some
balls.
Right? That's his power play.
He
It's
likes
his
to
power
brag
play
to people he has 70 people working for him.
Exactly. And if it's
But
not
John,
coming
I
out
think
of
he
his
likes money
real
more than he likes to
pocket,
brag.
but if it's not
He
coming out
got
of
rid
his
of
pocket
entire
and it's
Howard
coming out of
TV
Sirius's,
staff.
he doesn't care.
You're
He
popping.
got rid of the Howard's TV staff.
Get a
For
little
fuck's
bit of
sake.
pop money.
You think that now all of a sudden he feels like, basically being a charity to shitty writers?
I think so. Yes.
Just because he can.
Fair enough.
Just because he can. I do think he'd run it, but I
It
think
is- it
Monique's
is
right.
his-
He
his
struggles all the
swinging
time
dick.
with
It is
pocketing
his-
the money and then bragging about having 70 people working.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's his
He doesn't know
swinging.
what to
It's
do.
his swinging dick moment. I mean, honestly, to say he has 70 people.
It's
It's the only dick he can swing.
more like pocket zit in that fucker.
Oh!
Hey now.
All right, let's start the clips.
Okay. Let's start the clips because
Let's start the clips.
based on our Biznick, am I popping still?
Yeah.
A little.
Yeah, it's fine. You're fine. Just
That's
keep going.
fine. Keep
It's
going.
not
Am I popping or am I not popping? I need to
a
know.
little bit.
You
It's
are,
not.
A little bit, yeah.
You could work through it.
I don't want to work through it. I want to fix it.
Is it
better now.
more?
It's better now. It's
Time-
awesome.
I just changed it out. I changed out
It's
the
the best
echo
and greatest,
cancellation thing. So
like no other.
hopefully that.
Everyone says so.
Are you gonna work on it, or do we just continue?
What is she talking about?
What is this show? What are we listening
She's
to?
blabbering.
What is
Read
this?
per your request, my love. Here we go. Hang on a second. He wanted to see Howard cautiously descending the stairs. Tell me if this is
Oh,
on.
I love this. I love this.
Look,
Oh my God.
let's try that one again. This is when they were going to get married on Ellen.
Oh,
Here
okay.
we go. You see it?
Yeah, and he has He has Dr. Frankenstein chukka boots on, and he can't navigate the stairs with those. And he's wigga mortis. He can't bend his legs. He can't bend wigga bifida.
And she
he
knows
can't
she has
bend
to
his
hold
back,
him.
and she has to hold him.
Yeah.
Look at that body language, stiffer than RoboCop.
And when you think
Yeah,
about like this
Seinfeld.
clip, this in particular, it's like the fact that you have to have your wife on Ellen with you in order to do a bit that has to do with
Yeah.
The Bachelor,
This is
like
one of the worst things ever.
ever.
One
And
of the
I'm
most
sure he
embarrassing.
came up with it. It was
Yeah,
horrible.
he definitely did. It's like
So,
dressing
yeah.
in drag.
There's old man Crothers trying to get down the stairs, which
Look
we
at
loved.
Benjamin getting on the show. Huh? Look at
Yes.
that Benjamin Avatar. David's the new
Benjamin.
David's Benjamin's protege.
It's so funny because I looked up Howard Stern Ellen show, and of course we were the first
It's so funny when you Google
3 to come
something.
up. So
Yes.
it was an easy one to find. Okay, so that is it. Now, we should really look at the calendar, but the reality is that we think that he's going to be on vacation next week.
Yeah, it
So
seems like
we will revisit
hopefully.
the calendar tomorrow. But for right now, what we're going to do really, really quickly.
Cleaning out the computer.
So Johnny's got a couple of clips, which are Ben and Ray clips, which are always relevant to what Howard says on the show, because as he bullshits, Ray then immediately comes back and says, no,
This is them
didn't
left to their own
happen.
devices without
So
Howard
which one
controlling
first?
the narrative. They're
Roosevelt
all,
BU marrying Beth.
Yeah, go to Roosevelt first. So this is them. The Stearns. You talk about a good dad. This guy literally, on Howard's request, moved to Rockville Center because it just wasn't the greatest. But he loves Roosevelt. He dispels so many things here. It's a really good clip, and I want to say Zuma Dog. I think his voice is, because he's on medication himself, it's making him too mellow and not enough air pushing through his lungs. That could very well be. That's a pretty solid theory. Whatever it is.
Xavier,
No
just so
passion.
you know, I was crazy looking for the Mr. Whiskers, if you ever walk alone, you'll never walk alone thing. And I
Why
have
would
no
you do
idea where
that?
that is. Like, I can't find it.
Walk alone.
You need to see the video to appreciate it. I'm serious. It's just one of the funniest fucking things ever. And I can't find it anywhere for some reason. Didn't I just recently play that for you?
You did.
Shit. All right, let's listen to Roosevelt. Let me see if I can find it real
Well,
quick.
that was very important. That was the major factor why we moved out. It wasn't because of our neighbors. We had lovely neighbors. As a matter of fact, I used to take a trip to Europe, and my neighbors, my daughter was home. They took care of my daughter while I was away. I mean, wonderful people. People are people, and if they're nice, there's no reason to get excited about it.
Roosevelt is a very small town. It's a mile by a mile, and it's a very intimate town where everybody knew each other. And Howard did say that it was horrible growing up there. That was not true. That absolutely was not true. And I go on record saying that Howard had friends. He was always busy. He enjoyed them. And he was a very happy little boy. So I don't know what he's talking about. Despite what he says, I have to say he did very well in Roosevelt. And at the end, of course, he was harassed.
Martin Luther King.
That had to be expected at that time. And when that started to happen, we left.
Now, when you heard that
So there you go.
And they went to because of him. And he went to. I mean, you talk about a mic drop. They just shot down everything he just said, mightily. Like not only that, it's just like I can't anymore.
I don't know. I think that everything that he says is just a prelude to drama. That's it.
I mean, but that shoots down so much what they said. That if you don't, who doesn't believe them over him at this point?
You realize that while we're talking about this for the upteenth time, we're not talking about his mansion or the money he has or all this fucking ridiculous lifestyle that he's leading. That's what he wants. It's like he's kind of moving the laser pointer, and it's like, oh, they'll just talk about this for the upteenth time, and they won't mention the fact that he's taking a private jet from Florida to the Hamptons in a couple of days.
Yeah, Superman. If Howard got his ass kicked, I bet he deserved every bit of it, and I'd help.
Yes, I agree.
I bet you he deserved every bit of it. I bet you said Schwarza and Schwoogie Button and everything. I bet he deserved every bit of it, and I'd join in. I'm glad he got his ass kicked. Can't do it enough. Should have been more. Should have finished the job.
Babe, you know what, Xavier? I found the original email from you, and now it's saying that the file does not exist, which means that you deleted it from Google Mail. Can you find it for me? Is that possible?
I'll look for it.
The file is called Walk Alone 3.
Let me see.
So you do that while I'm playing the next clip. Okay.
Tell you about my best friend.
So is the next one about BU?
The next one's about them sending him to be. So Ralph is in one of these clips. Ralph asks about Beth. Ralph actually calls in. This is about his Howard going to BU and Ben Stern sending it, and what his experience and how he got to BU and why they chose it and the whole thing.
Okay, here we go. Xavier, it's called Walk Alone. You have it all in caps. Walk Alone 3. And you sent it to me on September 1st, 2018.
The question I have is two parts. When Howard was graduating from Roosevelt, he was, on his way to college. How did he decide to go to BU? Were there other schools that he was looking at? And also, did he adapt well up there, or did he come home on weekends? Or, how was his first year, I guess, going away and leaving you all?
Oh, that was traumatic. That was my baby. And Howard did consider other schools, and Howard went to the B'nai B'rith to be tested. And they tested him, and they spoke with us, and they recommended that he go to the School of Basic Studies in Boston University, something that nobody even knew about at that time. None of the guidance counselors even spoke of it. And it turned out to be the best thing that Howard ever did, and Howard will tell you so. And Howard excelled in BU, and it worked out very well for him.
It was magna cum laude. So it really turned out good.
What is B'nai B'rith, and why would he go there to figure out what school to go to?
Is that a Jewish tutelage center?
I don't know.
You think it's a Jewish thing? I bet
I don't
it
know.
is.
Somebody help us out in the chat.
I don't know how we looked that up. It's so fucking prehistoric, right? I mean, you're talking about the early 70s, looking up a tutorial service. It's like Camp Wellnet, right, Gina?
Did you find it, Xavier? Hello?
I think Howard's voice is worse than Ray's, CB.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I found it, but it says it's been deleted, so I'm gonna have to. It's somewhere on my computer for sure.
Oh, because we've been talking about it for weeks now, and we really need to see that. I swore I had it somewhere. We laughed about it. I showed you your stupidity on it.
You played for it like within the last couple of weeks. No one knew what the fuck I was talking about, including me.
Super
Okay.
Trooper. I could say one thing. It's true about Howard's school years. 1970s, his public schools were horrific. Yeah, for everybody, Super Trooper. But
Everybody.
he's the professional victim, right? So it's worse for him. You're not picking on someone who's 6'7". I'm sorry. I've never seen that in my life. It doesn't happen. That's where height gets you major advantages. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so my line is Ben and Ray on marrying Beth.
Yeah, this isn't the crazy clip, but it's interesting that Ralph calls in and he wants to know their opinion on Beth. And at this point, people are just like, you don't think the parents, they loved Allison, obviously. So they give you like a PC kind of answer here about they're not married yet. Obviously, they get married 2 years from this point. So they're kind of this is just them commenting on Beth. It's just kind of interesting.
Here we go.
It's not that
Yeah,
hardcore.
really. I got 2 questions. I got one for each of you. Mrs. Stern, first of all, speaking of Howard supposedly getting married, do you think he'll get married again? Would you like to see him married again? What's your feeling on that?
I think that Beth is a wonderful girl, and I think she's made Howard happy for over 5 years. Right. And I think that is up to the 2 of them. I certainly would not object to it because I think that she would continue to make Howard happy. However, it's not my say, but I would love to see it happen.
Yeah. And Mr. Stern,
Yes.
I have a question for you. Last time you were on, you're talking about
I think I cut it off. Yeah, it's
you did cut it off.
He gives it a political. He gives it it's just like George Bush opinion. It's kind of silly. It's dated and
Mr. Stern. I love the way Ralph is able to call him with questions as if who are you to do this.
He always did that. He always somehow got through first.
Well, I cannot find Walk Alone for you, but before we end the show,
I will find it. I can't promise it in the next couple of days, but when
will you promise you'll look?
Yeah. No. I have everything backed up. So
okay,
it's there. We just gotta find it.
All right, so let me share the screen really quickly so we can talk about his ratings. This was from Reddit, but then it was deleted from Reddit. So let me just start with page 1 so that you can see what I'm talking about. And this is 130 days ago. So some dude posted here not too long ago that he was on a conference call where someone mentioned the Stern Show with the Gardein deal and that they were promised 150,000 unique listeners every day would hear the ad, and the Stern Show failed to hit that number several days in a row. So Sirius had to run their ad on other shows to make up the difference. So that was the question that was asked from somebody on Reddit. And then this guy came in with the information, and I loved it. He brought the fucking receipts. So can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, let me make it big so that you guys can actually really see it. Okay, it says, I can't think of any reason not to post this, so here goes. I was in a meeting with an advertising agency that handles intermediary work for some smaller companies. Prior to the call, I was listening to 2 different people from New York talk, and I clicked in. And the first person was telling the second that they just got free advertising on several Sirius XM channels because a certain meat alternative company was promised 150,000 unique listeners per day for, quote, at least 60 minutes on the, quote, Media Kings channels. And there were more than 9 weekdays in a row over the past 37 calendar days that the obligation wasn't met. And because they couldn't actually guarantee that this wouldn't continue, they increased the amount of channels the ads would be heard on in order to meter the contract terms. Okay, so basically they're saying that they weren't even getting 150,000 unique visitors within a 60-minute time period during any given show during that time period.
King of all wah-wahs.
And Howard, why do you think he doesn't talk about his metrics, people? Why do you think
he never talks about his metrics? And somebody here is mentioning
if there were anything like he claims to, he'd be bragging about it every fucking day.
Oh my God, would he ever? And actually, when it was good, he used to talk about it.
Well, hey, can you make Melvin and I a promise? I'll send you I know I sent it to you. I'll do it again, and you don't have to do it now. I know you're probably trying to get out of here. Melvin found this unbelievable article about Howard's move to AGT and what a debacle it was and the predictions that came with it. And what they do is they analyze how bad his Q rating is in this piece. This woman found information out, and it probably drove his fucking infrastructure crazy. And that's probably why he brought Marcy in. I think Melvin said it's 4 times as bad as a normal. It's like the worst. And so AGT was bought into this con, and they moved the show to New York. So next show, if you would.
You're talking about why Howard Stern is a terrible choice for NBC.
You got it. Yes.
From December 15th, 2011. Okay, we will end the show with this. So here we go. NBC announced that Howard Stern is taking over from Piers Morgan as a judge on the show America's Got Talent. To accommodate Stern, who will continue to do his Sirius XM radio show, production of the show is moving from Los Angeles to New York. Let's see how fast I can actually read an article without fucking up. The high-profile edition of Stern is a much-needed shot of publicity for NBC, which is getting a reputation for being the least-watched network. For the first 9 weeks of the current television season, NBC ranked 4th among viewers with ratings down 7%. So while Stern might come with a good amount of built-in publicity and a solid fan base, he could turn out to be a big waste of money for the network that is now owned by Comcast. As my colleague Jeff Berkovici pointed out, Stern is not exactly universally beloved. Marketing evaluations poll the public about their attitude towards different celebrities and measure that with a Q score. The company last included Stern in its survey in 2009, but says his numbers tend to be pretty stable. At that time, 72% of respondents were familiar with Stern. By grading him on a 4-point scale, they produced a positive Q of 9 and a negative Q of 64. That's 7 times more turn off than turn on, says the company president, Stephen Levitt. Ouch. On top of that, the Parent Television Council has already slammed NBC for choosing Stern, calling the move an act of desperation for a flailing network. The PTC rarely influences networks on its own, but an avalanche of complaints about Stern could lead to advertisers shying away from the show. One has to wonder why NBC is making such a risky move with one of its few hit shows. According to Horizon Media's Brad Adgate, the summer show has been one of NBC's top-rated, normally pulling in an average 12 million viewers. Viewership was actually up a little bit in 2011. And Stern isn't coming cheap. Berkovici estimates that NBC will have to pay Stern $15 million for services and that the network will spend an additional $10 million to move the show to New York. We estimate Stern earned $76 million between May 2010 and May 2011. In order to make up for that cost, NBC will have to convince advertisers to spend a little bit more for each ad. And if the PTC can scare advertisers off and people stop turning into the show because they dislike Stern, that could be tough. Even Stern fans could potentially stay away from the show. America's Got Talent is a pretty wholesome show. Stern, who has enjoyed an incredible amount of freedom with his Sirius show, will have to rein it in for network television. What fan wants to see a muzzled Stern? The radio star rallied against limitations for years when he was on terrestrial radio. Interesting, Dorothy Pomerantz.
Phenomenal article. Prophetic, crazy prophetic. And you read it beautifully. And Melvin, what a find that is by you. And what was the stat I wanted to know about? How many viewers did he lose? Right. So they said, what is it, 14 million? And he lost at least 30% of the audience. So they moved the show to New York for him. They spent $15 million in moving the show to New York. The ratings tank. He completely bait and switched his own stupid, already sterilized persona. What an absolute debacle. What a brilliant article that is.
Except for he made $76 million.
Well, that was when he supposedly took a pay cut. That's why he took the job to make up for what he didn't.
He still wins.
Oh, I don't care. We know he's always been rich. Yeah. He was rich in K-Rock. He's always won. If money is your metric, it's not mine.
Jesus Christ. All right. So that is it for us tonight. It is 10:33. I need to go to sleep. I just got home and I got to go walk my puppies and do some stuff. Thank you for tuning in.
Like and subscribe, guys.
Subscribe.
Chaka Khan, yes, I'm sorry. We gaff on that. The caller in the BU call said Howard graduated from Roosevelt University. He did not. He graduated from Rockville Center, and the parents didn't correct him. They went along with the lie. Great catch, Chaka Khan.
Well, that's exactly right. And he actually started in Roosevelt High School. He was like in 9th grade when he went to Roosevelt. So he's full of shit. All right. So we are going to leave you guys. Thank you so much. Don't forget to watch the Deppening.
Tomorrow. Yes, thank you.
Listen to my boy blather on for 8 hours or more.
9.5 hours.
And we love you guys, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks for hanging with us tonight. Please join us for any discussion at RadioGunk.com in the forum section. Follow us on Instagram or Twitter at RadioGunk. And don't forget to like this and subscribe to us and hit that little bell so that you know when we're going to have a new show. Thanks.